Aneesa. One day you gonna learn. One day you gonna learn, or maybe you won't. Maybe you won't. But if y'all are new here, hit subscribe. Do that real quick. Thumbs up the video. Get in the comments. Share the video. Subscribe. You already know the drill. Hype the video. Let's go. Episode 15 is crazy. Like, this is crazy. This is how you know this is the first time I'm actually making it through a full flagship season. If you ain't new to me, you already know I start one and never finish it. When I talk about the flagship, I finished All Stars, the most recent All Stars. That's the first challenge season that I recapped and literally finished it. I did one. What season was it? I think it was Ride or Dies, where I watched the episodes on live. Like, that's the only season where I watched a full season on here, but I never recapped it. Like, did notes and talked about it, whatever. But yeah, this is the first one where I'm actually getting to the end. But yeah, we get back from the elimination. Turbo, he's not feeling good. He's sick. Sydney feels good about being partnered with Turbo at this point. Obviously, like, he's a competitor. At that point, she gonna feel good regardless. But she knows it's gonna be difficult to lay under the radar now because they're already hot targets. They're getting close to the end, so people are not really going to want to see them still there. So she knows that, and she knows that they just sent their allies home as well. Her and Yeremi have been hot targets since the beginning, even though they've been working closely together. So she knows we got to win or we're going to be in here, and we got to win there. But Aneesa, she's talking about how Ashley didn't apologize to her. Why would you think that she would? Ashley is Ashley. If Ashley don't feel sorry about what she did, regardless of what you feel, she's not going to apologize. I don't know why you would think that she would care. But Theo says that he don't care because Ashley voted him in 7 times in 3 seasons that they played together, and she's gone twice before him, and bad shit happens to people that are pieces of shit. I said, yeah, but she still won twice, and you haven't yet. So, I mean, but Theo says that they got a few more challenges. Don't forget who the enemy is. He's pretty much talking to his alliance. Like, we got to stay locked in and we got to get them out. But Aneesa talks about how, like, politically it's been rough for her this season. And it's been an uphill battle with Nany and Ashley. And I'm like, Nany clocked it later on. We're going to get into it. But Aneesa likes to play victim like she doesn't do this shit to herself. Like, you put yourself in political situations that are shitty because you don't know how to play the game socially. Like, you played this game too long to suck at the social game. Like, Aneesa sucks at the social game. Like, she never gets it right. But Aneesa then states that it made her reevaluate who she wanted to work with. And I'm like, they literally were working with you and wanting to work with you, but you decided that you wanted to put Olivia, who has a number 1 in the game that she's always going to choose over you, which is her boyfriend. You wanted to make her your number 1 when you already know she got a number 1. She got a number 1. You're a number 2. And you saw it tonight, but we'll get to it. But Turbo's crew, they're upstairs strategizing on what to do, considering the fact that they know the numbers are dwindling down. They know what the nominations. If you say we working together, I win, and one of us is last, that's taking 2 numbers out of our votes. So we got to make something shake to where at least we got the majority. So he's trying to strategize on what he thinks it might possibly be for the mission today, because the last thing they had like a puzzle, and he's like, at this point, instead of yelling check, just wait and let the other side think they will win first, and then we all just like run to get it done before they do so that they'll be last. But Aviv is pretty much stating like at this point in the game she wants to win for her and Yeremi, and he's like, he knows that they're a hot target and they're going to get higher and higher as the weeks progress. But Nany says that other side is thinking the same way as we are. We gotta do what we gotta do because we know they're gonna be doing it too, which she's not lying. But we see a little quick scene of everybody FaceTiming back home. Nany is FaceTiming Jenna. She's talking about Will with Jenna. Does Jenna have 5 kids now? I think she just recently had a baby again with Zach. Zach is like, get off her. Get off her. Zach is cracking them babies up out of Jenna. But Jake, he's FaceTiming his parents because his birthday is the very next day. And they got him a little cake on there and whatnot. And I was like, this is how you know they going home. Because Jake is getting a lot of screen time. But Theo is talking to his son back at home. But yeah. So we get to the challenge. And Cedric walking in, he's like, I feel like me and Michaela are probably in the best position right now in the house. They're kind of like right in the middle. They're not anybody's target right now. But at that point, they know right in the middle at this point can get tricky the closer you are to the final. And that's what Michaela was stating. And Olivia, she wants Sydney and Turbo to be the losers because she knows that they're protected on their side. And also she don't want to see them in the finals. So The challenge is called Dirty Drifter, and they have this van covered in chains. One of the team members will be the driver. The other one is going to be removing the chains as fast as they can. Once they're all removed, they have to then connect it to a giant rig. It's like one of them tow rigs. So they'll have a course, like a little obstacle course set up on the runway with a bunch of gates. So at this point, the driver will then, once they have it all attached, once they get it all attached, let me just read this shit. Once they get it attached to their rig, their time will stop. The rig is going to tow the, why did I write the fan? The van down the course 25 miles per hour. And the person that's in the car, the partner that's in the car, they're going to have to essentially kind of like weave it around to get those points. Because at this point, whenever they put it on, it's going to stop their time. But each one of these obstacles, my words are not coming to me tonight. They're not. Once they get around each one of these, you knock 30 seconds off of your time. So you want to get as many of those to knock your time down, because the person with the fastest time, the team with the fastest time will win, and the one with the slowest will lose. We'll get to it. But Justin and Nani, they start off first. Justin was up there moving, getting them ropes off. They locked in at 14 minutes and 42 seconds when he got the rig completed. Nani gets to driving. She almost flips around the obstacles, but she ends up hitting one of them. But they got 4 in total, taking 2 minutes off of their time. Next was Olivia and Will, and I was immediately getting nervous because we already saw that preview last week. Will was beasting it. Will's a beast. He is a beast. Like, he is a beast. Nani over there getting hot and bothered. But Olivia's like, I'm questioning my abilities because we don't really work well together. Like, we can't communicate. It's got me even thinking if I'm really as good because he ain't really fucking with me right now. But she starts driving, and she immediately gets swerving. It starts sliding this way. I said, oh, shit. And then she gets around one, but then she turns the next way, and that thing started flipping. I said, oh, my God. No. Because that woman has a baby in her. She has a baby in her, and in her too, though. But she flips over on the side. Thank God she's cool. But the way she was sitting there looking, I was like, Olivia, you're a little bit too calm for that shit to have happened. I'd have been tripping out. But Will starts joking with her. He's like, I'm not mad at her. Like, we only got one. But Theo's over there checking in on her. She's joking. He's joking with her. She's fine. Thank God. But Aneesa and Jake. Aneesa, she's working the chains. She's like, I feel super empowered being a woman doing it. I love that she's empowered for it. But yeah, that was the wrong strategy because she was struggling. I feel like she definitely should have been the one in the car, and he should have been the one, especially considering how he was moving later on. He should have been the one pulling the chains. Aneesa probably would have driven better because Jake was struggling too. She was struggling getting the chains. He was struggling because he went the wrong way, first of all, and then started driving straight. You're supposed to get around the obstacles to knock down your time. And Aneesa was taking forever, so you needed that, but they missed all of them. Theo and Adrian, Theo's ass was cheating, proving Michaela right. When she said cheating Theo, he's cheating. Like, he had 3 opportunities to not cheat. TJ was like, stop. And then it got to the final one, and he was like, you do it again, you're getting DQ'd. He does it again. Theo, what are you doing? He got them DQ'd, and of course, Michaela was geeked, running around there. I was cracking up laughing. But yeah, I'm like, Theo, what are you doing? And that just literally set them up because now they're last right now, but they eventually were last. And we'll get to it. The results. Justin and Nani and Will and Olivia, those were the top 2 performing teams. And guess who the winners are? Will and Olivia. So that knocks out Aneesa and Jake might have already had their bags packed at this point because Will and Olivia, they can't vote because they won. Theo and Adrian, they can't vote because they're dead. They're in the elimination. So it's just Aneesa and Jake versus the rest of the house. But Turbo's plan worked. They didn't execute it the way they wanted to because it wasn't the same thing that they were expecting. But you see what happened. But TJ ends up talking about how he had warned Theo 3 to 4 times to stop pulling on the road because basically Adrian was pulling the rope. Theo's in the car giving her the rope. I'm like, Theo, what are you doing? But Theo's sitting there making excuses as to why he was doing this, stating that the chain was rubbing against his leg. That could be true, but like, you know what you're doing. But TJ ends up telling them, essentially all of them, stop playing the middle of the road shit. Like, start playing to win, essentially. Like, y'all thinking y'all game in the system, but at this point, it's not a good look. And it's like, can he really fault them for that, though? Because they have to think strategically. Yes, they playing to win. At least most of them are. like the teams that I feel like are genuinely playing to win is Olivia and Will, Michaela and Cedric, Aviv and Yeremi, Theo and Adrian. Who else am I missing? Turbo and Sydney. Like, I feel like all the teams are playing to win, but obviously they have to think Nani and Justin, they're thinking strategically, because if we have numbers at this point, why would we not stick with the numbers considering the way the game is being played right now? Like, if they were to just start shooting at other people randomly with no protection, it's stupid. But I mean, I get what he's stating, but I don't get it at the same time. But they get back to the house. Aneesa, she's expecting to go in because essentially, like, look. But she was like, their side is now starting to try and push potentially to get Aviv and Yeremi in there. But they want to work on Nani to pretty much get that to happen. So Aneesa's like, I mean, Nani came in stating that she wanted to have my back and she would have my back, but right now I don't know. And Aneesa then states too, like, if she was trying to win, she would get out Aviv, Sydney, and Michaela, which is true because they are the strongest females, if you want to keep it real. Olivia is too, though, but like, let's keep it real. But Michaela and Cedric, they're talking. These two, this is my team. This is my team. Call me biased, I don't care. But they think the way that I do. Like, they think the way that I do. She says she's concerned about the combinations of people that would have to go in at that point because, like, we don't really know what's going to happen. But they agreed to take it day by day and essentially stay out of the way. But Michaela says that she knows her two most trusted allies went home in the last two eliminations, which would be Leroy in America and Ashley and Leo. But Jake, he's hoping to not go into the elimination on his birthday. Call me mean, I'd have threw him in just because. But they get out to the bar and they're singing him happy birthday and whatnot. Like I said, lots of Jake cameras time. I knew he was going home. But Turbo, he's sitting over there laying down because he's still sick. But Theo and Adrian, they're talking about how, like, they're battle tested and whatnot. Aviv comes over there and is like telling him to get his head in and get his hair right and yada, yada, yada. Aviv is playing the game. She's playing the game. But Michaela and Cedric are sitting over there watching. Like, we working together. I'm seeing the game that you playing at this point. Cedric says, like, I'm at my wit's end. Like, with all these fake conversations and shit going on, which is literally what's happening. But they're noticing that Aviv and Yeremi are moving around. Like, they around the other side, essentially. Which I can't get mad at them because they are playing the game and you got to make sure that you got them connections. But I personally don't see that as smart strategy because you got your own side over here. And then you already know you're going to be at the end over there. So at that point... But then again, they could be trying to make deals that could get them week by week through the rest of the game. So, I mean, I get it. But they're noticing that Michaela says Aviv is shady, running around whispering, playing these different characters with everybody and whatnot. And I'm paying attention to that because a friend of everybody is a friend to nobody because you have to vote. Where's the lie? Like I said on Twitter, so many people can't stand Michaela because she talks straight. Like, real people gonna understand what she's talking about. Like, if you sensitive as fuck and you don't like somebody that tells you the truth, you're not gonna like Michaela. That's why I love Michaela because I'm the same way. I'm talking straight. I'm not filtering shit. But Aneesa and Nani. Aneesa ends up asking, what if Nani doesn't say her name in the nominations? And Nani says, I mean, there's people that have literally stuck with me the entire season based on the options. You're the only one that's been on the other side. Like, you got relationships on the other side. There's no reason for us not to vote you in. But Aneesa then says Olivia was like my only untouchable. Okay, but that means everybody else over there was not, they were touchable for you at that point. But Nani then states, I mean, I understand that, but you said everybody else's name that is literally voting. So it's easy to say your name. It is. But it's easy to say her name, but I could see the strategy in not saying Aneesa and Jake because there are stronger teams there. So, I mean, I get it. Aneesa's just not, she's not making that point. She's playing the friends role when she should literally make that point. We're not a strong team. She should literally downplay the fact that y'all are not that strong. Like, at that point, we're getting closer to the final. Wouldn't you want to get out people that could possibly make it harder for you? That's what I would have been pitching. But Nani was like, I mean, you had all of us. Because Aneesa was like, is it easy for you as a friend to vote me in? She was like, I mean, you had all of us, essentially. And Aneesa was like, nobody talked to me after the fight with Ashley. Nani says, it breaks my heart that you're in this position, and it's not easy for me to say your name, but that's what it's going to have to be. But Nani is in her confessionals clocking the fuck out of her. She says it's frustrating how Aneesa plays the victim, and she played the middle the entire game, and she can't see why she's going to get voted in. she's basically saying, like, I don't understand how Aneesa doesn't see, yeah, you're going to get voted in at this time. And I chose my side at this point. You're not on that side, which is true. That's Aneesa's game plan every season, which I'm waiting on the day that she finally wakes up, because she always chooses a side that is not going to choose her. Like, let's keep it real. If she would have stayed with Nany, Nany probably would have looked out for her. Like I just stated earlier, Olivia has Theo in the game. That's her number one. Why would she choose you over him? Why? Especially when Theo is a better competitor than you. So if her back was against the wall and say she needed somebody to win, Theo's a better chance to win than you. And I'm not mad at Olivia for it. Like, at that point, Aneesa, you shot yourself in the foot. But the next day, Aneesa claims that she never felt like she was a part of the other side. Talking about Nany's side. You literally were. You just chose not to be. You went to go be with Olivia. Like, what? That's that victim shit that Nany's talking about. But Theo says, like, essentially the two best teams are Aviv and Yeremi and Sydney and Turbo. And if they had sense, talking about the other side, they would put them in. He's not lying. That's the truth. I will put him in. But he then says that his main motivation is to make sure that Turbo doesn't have the last laugh. And Aneesa's sitting there agreeing. I'm like, Aneesa, what did Turbo do to you? I get why he's saying it, but I don't get why you are. But Yeremi's in there telling Sydney that he's paranoid because he don't know what's going to happen at this point. And Sydney was like, I mean, you got reason to think that, because next time it could be 2-2. Because when you look at the teams at this point, it's going to be an even number of teams left, which means you could have duos as duos. But she was like, I mean, I would protect you and Aviv. I don't want to turn on Michaela and Cedric. However, it would be hard to get Turbo to turn on Nany and Justin. And she was like, but y'all did make a deal, right? Like, Turbo made a deal with you and Cedric, right? Yeremi says yes. The flashback shows it happening. Sydney's like, just go over to them and pretty much kind of like go talk to Cedric and make sure that shit is solid. But we get to the nominations. And before we get there, Cedric's in his confessionals talking about like the voting Aneesa and Jake in is stupid, because at this point, don't nobody want to compete against monsters in the final. Like, I don't want to compete against him in the final, but it is what it is. And I'm like, in this moment, y'all could vote, but they not going to have the numbers. Like, when it comes to like, people going to be like, well, why didn't Michaela and Cedric vote? They're not going to have the numbers. It would literally be them voting with Aneesa and Jake just to get outvoted. Yeah, because it's Sydney and Turbo, Nany and Justin, and Aviv and Yeremi. That's 3-2. And then they would be putting themselves in the line of fire at that point with their own alliance. And then putting themselves at the bottom of the other side. But nobody stakes a claim. As expected, the votes went the way they did. Aneesa and Jake, they're going in. Aneesa says she ain't worried about the eliminations because she's been in more than we all can count. Like, let's keep it real. But after the nomination, everybody's playing pool, and Aneesa and Aviv are over there hugging. And Aneesa's sitting right next to Nany, and Nany's sitting there watching it because Aviv is crying, like pouring the tears on. Pouring them on. I don't feel like they were genuine. I feel like they were strategic tears. And Nany was clocking it. She's like, I'm confused because Aviv didn't act like it was such a big issue to vote in Aneesa and Jake. Yet she's sitting here crying like this. I think it's an act. The people online was going crazy talking about Michaela sounds like a hater. Yet Nany said the same thing. Sydney's about to say the same thing. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's see-through. It is an act. Like, let's keep it real. It's not hating. It's calling it for what it is. Like, Aviv, and I'm not mad at Aviv for doing it because she's playing the game. But, like, come on. It's an act. But Michaela is talking to Sydney and Turbo, Sydney is stating that the crocodile tears are killing her. And Michaela was like, I mean, it's disingenuous. It's shape-shifting. It's fake, fraudulent, lying, unnecessary. It's true. It's true if you're looking at it from that perspective. But on Aviv's side, I can see the strategy. It's sloppy, though. It's sloppily executed. If you're going to be doing all that crying and shit, don't do it in front of everybody else. Like, the people that you literally have told, I'm going to vote in her, and you did it with no issue, and now you sitting here crying. It don't look right. But Sydney then states, I know, like, because at this point, because Michaela was like, I hate that she's partnered with Yeremi, basically stating, I would have thrown her in if he wasn't right there with her. But Sydney was like, I mean, he's paranoid, but as long as he can control her vote, that's all that matters. We just got to stay strong. She's trying to make sure that they stay strong because she know Michaela will do what she don't want. But Michaela said, Michaela had me laughing. She said it's vets and new threats, and some of these people need to be retired and some need to be rehired. She's the former. Go do something else. But Olivia, her side is over there dealing with the fact that they're literally about to lose a number. Like, a guaranteed number on their side is going home because it's them against each other. So, and this is what I love. Somebody said in my comments, I love how Theo's side, well, they said that they love how Theo's side is still there. And I do too, honestly. Even though I'm rooting for Michaela and Cedric, I do love the fact that Theo and Olivia are still in here actually playing and still being able to win, because it gives the back and forth. And we're getting the back and forth, because last week we had Michaela's side going against each other in elimination, and now we got this happening. So it's good. Like, that's what makes a show entertaining, when it's not a steamroll. So Adrian's pissed though, because she knows it's Theo's fault as to why they're in that position at that point. Like, they could have possibly ended up being in a better position, even though not really, because Olivia and Will won, and it's 3-5 at that point. Is it 5 or 4? Regardless, they would have been outnumbered unless they literally manipulated somebody to do what they wanted them to. But we get to the elimination, and it's called loose ends, and they start with these plugs. They have to start at these plugs, and they have to unroll this cable on this big ass wheel, and then they then have to wrap it around these contact points, plug all 3 of them in, and the first team to do it wins. Jake was moving. When it came to getting that rope off, he was moving. Theo's back started hurting because he's sitting there bending down trying to get it, and he started getting gas, and Olivia was getting nervous. Olivia was over there asking Michaela, who you think is winning? Michaela's like, I think Theo is. And Michaela was over there helping him too. I was shocked. I was like, look at them. But Adrian, she was over there figuring it out. Theo needs to start listening to her, because there's many instances where she's gotten it figured out and he's not figuring it out. And he's trying not to listen to her. And there's instances where if he would have listened to her, they probably would have finished a lot quicker. But he's not trying to listen to her. And Olivia's telling him to listen to her. And Adrian's like, you know what? Fuck it at this point. Do you, Theo? And Olivia's like, no, don't let him do him. Like, you tell him what the fuck to do. But Theo finally starts listening to her. And Nani is impressed because she sees that Adrian is literally controlling this entire elimination. Adrian was beasting this shit. But Theo and Adrian, they win. Jake and Aneesa are eliminated. Aneesa, while you definitely performed, and when I say performed, I'm talking about competitions, you performed better. You didn't get injured the entire season. Look at you. You see what happens when you train. Get in the gym. Just get in the gym. You see how strong your body is when you actually are active? But you got to work on that social game. You got to work on it. Jake didn't really make too much noise for me. He's one of the new threats that I could take or give or take. At this point, if he's here, I ain't mad. But if he's not, I'm really not mad either. He's one of them rookies that really didn't make too much noise to me. But yeah, that was the episode, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think next week. Oh, next week, somebody is staking a claim. I already know it. The way that reaction was, the reactions at the nominations, somebody did. But y'all give me y'all's thoughts down in the comments. Thumbs up the video, share the video, hype the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.